Okay, today we are in section 3.2, adding and subtracting linear expressions. Basically, we're not even going to worry about nonlinear, okay? But basically, you're not going to see any exponents in these problems. So squared, cubed, like to the third power, to the fourth power, you're not going to see any of that. It's just going to be one variable like an x or a y. All right, in example 1, we're first adding linear expressions. Okay, you see two groups of parentheses. Everybody see that? Two groups of parentheses, x minus 2 and 3x plus 8. The groups don't mean a whole lot when there's an addition sign between them. Okay, so the addition sign basically, I would say, kind of neutralizes the signs inside the parentheses after it, okay? And that'll make more sense in example 2. But we're just looking at the sign in front of each term, okay? So the first goal is to match up my like terms, all right? We did this in 3.1. We want to use commutative property to rearrange it so we can match up our like terms and simplify. So if I have an x, what do I know my coefficient to be? 1. Okay, just go ahead and write that as a reminder. What would you match up with 1x?
3x.
Okay, and 3x is positive because I see a plus sign in front of it. Okay, and then minus 2 plus 8. Wait, why was 2 negative?
Because
yeah, there's a minus sign up here, okay? Now I can simplify my like terms. What's 1x plus 3x?
4x.
What's negative 2 plus 8?
2.
Just 6. Okay? Now, I cannot combine this any further because one term has a variable and the other one is just a number. Okay? So I cannot combine it any further than that. Go ahead and do the second set now. Negative 4y plus 3 and 11y minus 5. When I match up with negative 4y? 11y plus 3 minus 5. So what's negative 4y plus 11y? 7y. Remember, if it's the same variable, I can combine my coefficients. What's 3 minus 5?
Negative 2.
Okay, and that's my answer. I can't combine it any further. Okay, that's my simplified answer. Any questions on example 1? Okay, let's look at example 2 now. Example 2 has a little bit of a twist to it. Okay, go ahead and write down the expression 5x plus 6 minus negative 2x plus 6. All right, so here's my rule. If I see a subtraction sign in front of the set, okay, this subtraction sign applies to every term inside the parentheses. So I am essentially subtracting a negative 2x and I'm subtracting a positive 6. So here's what happens. Every sign inside that set of parentheses is going to be the opposite sign. All right, but do you see why? Because if I subtracted a negative 2x, what's minus a negative? Minus negative 2x, that's a double negative, you said it, which is a positive. So that's why I'm changing the sign. Minus a positive is the same thing as subtracting. So here's what you do. This is just an easy, simple step to follow. And here's what the book suggests too, so it's not just my idea, is that anytime you see a subtraction sign before a set of numbers in parentheses, you will add, now we change the subtraction to an addition sign, you will add the opposite of every sign inside. So now it's not negative 2x, it's positive 2x. We're going to do the opposite. Now it's not positive 6, it's negative 6. Okay? So what we do, if we see a subtraction sign, we're going to do another one. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Okay? If we see a subtraction sign in front of a group of numbers in parentheses, we will change that to an addition sign and make every term inside the parentheses the opposite. Okay? Now we're going to use the commutative property. 5x What am I going to put next to 5x? Plus 2x plus 6. And then what goes after the positive 6? Minus 6. All right, you go ahead and simplify that. What's 5x plus 2x?
7x.
What's 6 minus 6?
0.
So my answer is 7x. All right, go ahead and try the second one. We see the subtraction sign, so we know what to do. All right, go ahead and try that. So let's change our signs. The negative in front of the set of parentheses becomes a positive. So now 8y becomes negative 8y, and negative 6 becomes positive 6. So 7y minus 8y plus 5 plus 6. What's 7 minus 8? Negative 1y. What's 5 plus 6?
11.
Okay, so we have now learned how to do all but 2 of your homework problems. Okay, all but 2. All right, so your last 2 problems are word problems. Okay, let me come back to the classwork. I'll come back to the classwork in just a second. I want to get through this word problem. All right, modeling real life. You know, guys, in every scenario, in every section we learn in our book, they're always going to try to make a real world example out of it. Okay, so that's, when are we going to use this in our life? Well, let's try to show you how we're going to use it. All right, if you have a business, okay, and say, okay, let's just use the skateboarding example because that's what we see here. Let's say you purchase a skateboarding kit for 50 bucks, okay? You're going to put the skateboard together. But once you put it together, now someone else who doesn't want to go through the hassle of putting it together, maybe now they want to pay 100 bucks for one that's already assembled. What's your profit? 50 bucks, right? Because you subtract what you bought it for from your selling price, okay? So keep that in mind. But maybe not all skateboarding kits are the same price, right? Maybe they're not all the same price. So is there a model or is there a formula that you can use that would apply to any price or any cost? There is, okay? And that's what we're looking at here in this problem. This problem works no matter how much the skateboard kit cost because it's D. It can be any value that I give it. Okay, but I'm trying to figure out what my profit's going to be. All right, so let's read it. Skateboard kits cost $D. Fill in the blank. Make up a number, okay? And you have a coupon for $2 off each one you buy. So what if it was 50 bucks and you have a coupon? How much are you paying? $48, okay? So that's basically what it's saying. After assembly, you sell it for 2D minus $4. Find and interpret your profit on each skateboard sold. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Okay, you've got what you sold it for. Okay, you need to write this down. Okay, so selling price, and then you have to subtract. Okay, so you sold it for this, but then how much did you pay in like materials or labor or whatever you want to call it? So your cost. Subtract your cost from it. And that's going to equal your profit. All right? The most important part, guys, about solving word problems, and this is something that truthfully just comes with practice, and honestly, I'm still getting better on it, and I'm 31 years old, okay? So word problems are definitely a challenge because we have to figure out what it's asking. All right? So here's my first challenge to you. What is the problem asking you? It's asking you, what's your profit? How much money are you making? Okay, so we can kind of back up from there and say, okay, well, I bought it for this. I'm selling it for this. Is there a pattern here that I can see? Okay, well, it tells me what expression represents how much I sold it for. What expression in there represents selling price?
4, negative 4? No,
2D minus 4. Selling price is 2D minus 4. Okay, 2D minus 4 represents what I sold it for. But D minus 2 represents how much I paid for it. Why? Because the kit cost, I don't know how many dollars, but I have a $2 off coupon. Okay? D represents, do you see this, guys? Make this connection. D represents the same amount of money in both of those expressions.
Yeah, because it's.
Okay? It represents the same amount of money. Okay? So plug in a value. We've been using the value 50, right?
Yep.
50 can go in for both of those D's. Okay? All right, so now let's combine, sorry, hold on. Let's combine like terms here. Let's combine like terms. 2D minus 4 minus D minus 2. Well, you see a subtraction sign there, so remember what happens to your signs, okay? Go ahead and combine like terms. What happens when you combine like terms? What's 2D minus D?
Oh, 1D.
1D or just D?
1D. It's 1D.
Okay, okay, guys, D and 1D is the same thing. All right, now this turned into a positive. This is a negative. This was a positive. So what's negative 4 plus 2?
2. Negative 2.
Negative 2. Okay, so this is my profit. Wait a second, this looks really familiar to something. D minus 2, wasn't that how much I paid for the skateboarding kit?
Yeah.
But it's also my profit. So what does that mean?
You didn't make a profit.
The same price.
You did make a profit. You already you doubled your money. You already subtracted your selling price from your cost. So, okay, so what if you sold it? Okay, you paid the number we've been using, $50. Okay, let's plug it back in. What's 2 times 50 minus 4? What's 2 times 50 minus 4?
96.
96. Okay, and then what's 50 minus 2? 48. Is 96 double of 48?
Yes.
So that's what it's saying, is I'm doubling my money, okay? Now, I just need you to understand some of the setup here. I know that this is like, we just went from like, okay, this is super easy, combining our like terms, to what in the world did you just do, okay? So go by the clues though. You know that you're combining like terms in some way, shape, or form. Turn in your homework now to page 101. I want to look at some of your homework problems, and I want to do a little bit of practice. And I'm actually going to include this in the video so you guys can use this as a resource if you need it. Okay, but that's it for examples. You can keep your notes out though, because we're going to do still some more classwork. So keep your notebooks and keep your notes out. Keep your notes out. We're looking at homework, but we're still doing some more classwork. Okay, so on number 30, you burn 200 and how many? 65 calories. And then you also burn how many calories per minute?
7.
That looks like an expression to me. Okay? And then your friend burns 273 calories. Okay? And 11 calories per minute. So I want you to come up with an expression for that one. Okay? Come up with an expression now for your friend. Go ahead and write it down, number 30. Okay? What expression did you write?
273 plus 11M.
Yeah, plus 11M, right? Okay, so now it says you each swim for the same number of minutes, so find and interpret the what? The difference. The difference. Can you burn a negative amount of calories? No. So when you find the difference between these two, you're just finding exactly what it says, the difference. So if you do, oh, well, Ms. Kidder, I did 265 minus 273. Well, just know that the difference is 8, guys, okay? So we're not worried, it can't be negative, okay? Just subtract them from each other. So it's going to be 8, and what's the difference between 7M and 11M?
4.
All right, so 4M plus 8, right? Okay. And basically, I just did that for you. Whoops. I thought there was more to it. All right, but guys, I need you to understand though, This represents what? Actually, I want you to answer that, okay? So 4m plus 8 means what about what you're swimming and what your friend is swimming? I want you to draw a conclusion about the difference that you just took, okay? So answer that on number 30, and that'll be the answer for that problem, okay? So that's 30. I want to take maybe 3 minutes to work through these 3 problems, do it together, and then that'll be it for today.
I have a question.
Everybody done with the first one?
Yes.
Okay. What did you group next to negative 8z?
8z.
Positive 8z. Plus 4. Minus 7.
Negative 2.
Z's cancel. Negative 3. Who got negative 3?
Me.
Yay, I could tell Kayla got it. Little happy dance. Okay. All right, great job. Okay, what about the second one? What about the second one? The bottom one with the decimal. What are you going to group next to negative 2c? Oh, wait, hold on a second. That subtraction sign does what? I almost missed that. It changes. So subtract now changes to addition, and now positive 6.3 becomes negative, and positive 20 becomes negative 20. Right? Now turn around your numbers. Negative 2c minus 6.3c. Plus and negative is the same thing as minus. Okay, so just write minus. Plus 5 minus 20. What did you get when you did negative 2c minus 6.3? What did you get, Jason? Yes, there you go, negative 8.3.
Oh, yeah.
C. What's 5 minus 20? Negative 15. Oh my goodness, there's fractions. Is that a big deal?
No.
No big deal. Group them together. I mean, that's a pretty simple fraction to add. Minus 3 plus 3. What's 1/2 plus 1/4? 3/4. And my 3's cancel, right? If I said 3/4 W plus 0, would that still technically be correct? Yeah, but do you need to put plus 0? There's nothing there. You don't have to. All right, guys, if you understand that, that's everything you need to know for section 3.2.